presidential candidates target President Trump, and they target each other at the fourth high-stakes debate.
Plus a nasty nor'easter heading our way. Storm Team 4 will break down when the worst of the heavy rain and winds will arrive. Today in New York starts now. Good morning, everybody. Wednesday morning. It's October 16th. I'm Darlene Rodriguez.
I'm Michael Gargiulo. Well, the second nor'easter threatens to bring some heavy rain and the potential for flash flooding, strong winds as well.
And we want to get right to Storm Team 4's Maria LaRosa with what we can expect, Maria.
All right, well, if you're out the door right now, expect quiet conditions, but not for much longer. We're at 56 under fair skies in New York, 41 in Sussex and Newburgh. We're into the 40s in Islip, but very quickly the clouds will be on the increase, and as early as the lunch hour, some showers beginning to take over. After that, quick, fast changes with the heavy rain encroaching on the area. I stopped the clock there by 3 o'clock, so think about your plans. Are you grabbing the kiddos from school, or perhaps you're thinking maybe trying to get in some errands there? Not so much. It then takes over the tri-state here by 6 o'clock, so a mess of an evening commute. Heavy rain, flash flooding likely, and at this point, those winds will be picking up as well in that 30-plus mile-per-hour range, so tough travel on the roads and likely in the air at the airports, too. We build up to mostly cloudy skies through the lunch hour, and then it's rain and heavy rain at that from here on out. On top of that, concerned about the coastal flooding during times of high tide today and tomorrow morning's high tide in some of those areas that were hard hit the last go around. But at this point, looking to just above normal levels to minor flooding. Take precautions, though, regardless. The good news is a shorter duration event. All right, let's get you out the door now with the commute, because this morning is very quiet. Tomorrow, later on, the evening commute's going to be tough.
Right. Let's start with the rails. We already have issues. Despite dry roads, there is a track condition that's affecting Metro North commuters. On the Hudson Line only, there are 10 to 15-minute delays into Grand Central Terminal, only inbound, not outbound. And then if you're getting on the roads, there are delays northbound on 95. That construction's still out there by Chatsworth Avenue. And we'll take a live look outside at the Long Island Expressway in Queens, where there's an accident by exit 19. So that's the Queens Boulevard exit out there. It's always slow going at this hour in this area anyway, and it is a lot more slow going than it usually is because of this. So leave yourself plenty of extra time. Darlene, over to you.
Lauren, thank you. Now, at breaking news, 2 officer-involved shootings for the NYPD happening just about 5 hours apart. The first in Gowanus, Brooklyn, the second round of gunfire breaking out overnight in the Bronx. Our team coverage begins with New York's Tracy Strahan. Today in New York's Tracy Strahan in the Wakefield section. Tracy, good morning.
Darlene, good morning to you. Not just a busy night for the NYPD, but certainly a frightening one. Now, authorities went up these stairs hours ago, coming face-to-face with a man with a gun, leading them to open fire. Let's show you the police response just after midnight here at 225th Street at the subway station. Now, again, it was after midnight where ShotSpotter technology as well as 911 calls let authorities know that there was a man here with a gun. Officers came face-to-face with him on the southbound platform. 2 officers then fired several rounds, striking that man once in the left shoulder.
Several plainclothed and uniformed officers from the 4-7 precinct responded to the scene and were directed to the southbound platform, where they engaged a male in possession of a firearm. 2 of the officers then fired several rounds at the suspect, striking him one time in the left shoulder.
Now let's talk about that firearm, because right now you are looking at that .380 semi-automatic firearm that was recovered right here in the subway platform next to that suspect, who's currently at Jacobi Hospital in stable condition. As we bring you back live to the scene, we can tell you that no one's really going beyond this crime scene tape, because there's still a lot of questions to be answered, namely who this suspect was, even though police say he has an extensive criminal history, and why he had a gun and was shooting here in the first place. We're live in the Wakefield section of the Bronx. Tracy Strahan, Today in New York. Darlene, back to you.
All right, Tracy, thank you.
Now to the other person involved shooting. This was in Brooklyn. It turned deadly overnight. Today New York's Catherine Craig's in Gowanus with new information. Kat.
And Michael, what crime scene investigators are doing right now, they're taking photographs of that scene down there, and also they have evidence markers. You can see them there by the dozens on the ground. They have been here for hours now. Let's take a look at this video. Police are telling us in this police-involved shooting, officers fired at least 30 shots at a man who had a gun who was firing at another person. It all started when 2 undercover officers saw that man shooting the gun. The officers ran over to where this was all taking place, Baltic Street Street near Hoyt Street. Police say the officers yelled for that man to drop his gun. We're told he did not, and that's when officers fired, hitting the 30-year-old several times. He was critically hurt, was rushed to a hospital, and later died. Police showed us photos of the gun that we're told the suspect had. The two officers involved in the shooting were not hurt, but were taken to a hospital to be evaluated. We heard from a police chief about what happened here.
Once again, we see the inherent dangers cops face every single day. They are on the streets, keeping New Yorkers safe. This incident also underscores the urgency of getting illegal firearms off our street.
And the suspect who died, his name has not yet been released, but the NYPD is telling us that he had a criminal history, was on parole after being released from prison just last week. And Michael, again, a very busy crime scene here. This happened about 8 o'clock last night, and many hours later, investigators are still here. And we're told this will remain closed off for quite a while. Reporting live, Catherine Craig, today in New York. We'll send it back to you, Michael.
All right, Kat, thanks very much. And we will bring you the latest information on these breaking stories throughout the morning. For updates anytime, check out our NBC4 New York app or NBCNewYork.com.
New this morning, an accident involving 2 fire trucks in Brooklyn sent a dozen people to the hospital, 11 of them firefighters. Video from Citizen App shows the accident scene at Rogers Avenue and Crown Street in Crown Heights. We're told the fire trucks were heading to reports of smoke in another building when the accident happened around 10 o'clock last night. The FDNY tells us the 11 firefighters suffered minor injuries, but the one other person who was hurt was listed in serious condition.
In the first debate since the impeachment inquiry began, Democratic candidates took turns at taking shots at President Trump.
In my judgment, Trump is the most corrupt president in the history of this country.
Impeachment is the way that we establish that this man will not be permitted to break the law over and over without consequences.
He has committed crimes in plain sight. I mean, it's shocking.
Candidates also sparred on issues of climate change, foreign policy, taxes, and jobs, and some swings at each other as well. The primary target here, Elizabeth Warren, and how she would pay for her Medicare for All plan. The Massachusetts senator has surged in the polls since the last debate.
Your signature, Senator, is to have a plan for everything, except this.
Senator Warren is more focused on being punitive or pitting some part of the country against the other, instead of lifting people up and making sure that this country comes together.
I'm really shocked at the notion that anyone thinks I'm punitive.
You are making Republican talking points right now in this room.
While Bernie Sanders also used the debate to announce a rally that's going to happen here in New York City. Coming up in the next half hour, find out which New York lawmaker is expected to be endorsing him at that rally.
Today, Vice President Mike Pence will lead a delegation to Turkey to try to work out a ceasefire in Syria, but it may be a hard sell. He'll be joined by Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, National Security Advisor Robert O'Brien, and Special Envoy Jim Jeffrey. They'll meet with Turkey's President Erdogan. Erdogan is now wrapping up an address before Turkey's parliament. He's insisting he will not agree to a ceasefire in northern Syria.
All right, in New Jersey right now, police are releasing a sketch of a man who may have information about a missing girl. Investigators do want to speak to this man you see in the sketch. They say he was seen near Bridgeton City Park on September 16th. That's the day 5-year-old Dulce Alaves vanished. Prosecutors say the man is not a suspect or not a person of interest, but they do want to talk to him.
Happening today, a rally in support of the plan to shut down Rikers Island. Members of the group Close Rikers will lead a demonstration outside City Hall starting at 8:45 this morning. That's just before the City Council's Land Use Committee will vote on the plan to replace Rikers with 4 smaller facilities. The full City Council scheduled to vote on the plan tomorrow.
Okay, 6:09 right now, and happening today, the wet weather may possibly wash away Game 4 of the American League Championship Series in the Bronx. The Yanks are hoping to rebound after the bats went silent in Game 3. Jose Altuve put Houston ahead early in the first inning yesterday. Solo blast to left field off Luis Severino. The Yankees just couldn't get anything going against the Astros starter Garrett Cole. So the Astros won that game 4-1. That was Game 3. They lead the series 2-1. First pitch scheduled for some, 14 hours from now, 8:08 p.m.
got one swing to kind of get us rolling and, you know, kind of break through, but we just weren't able to get that big hit.
We've been kicked down before, but I feel like we always bounce back, and, you know, we're going to have to, and I think, you know, we definitely have the guys in here to do it.
All right, the Yanks or the Astros are going to play the Nationals in the World Series. That's because the Nats swept the Cardinals 4 straight games in the NLCS, heading off there for the first time.
That's right. All right. Let's check in on the weather right now. We're not going to talk about tonight's game at this point just yet.
Well, you don't have to, right? I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it for you, because if it goes on, guys, it will be pretty messy. They're going to need all the tarps, so pretty miserable for baseball. No doubt the fans, I know you'll show up if they give it a go, but it's going to be rain during the entire game period. Leading up to that, though, we're pretty quiet. Just mostly cloudy skies through the mid-morning, rain arriving this afternoon, and the gusty winds and the heavy rain well into the afternoon and evening hours, so a long haul for that evening rush. So coming up, I'll finish timing out the heaviest of rain, the gusty winds, and I'll check on travel, too, taking a peek at what the airports might expect today as well. That's coming up in the 10-day.
All right, thank you. Still ahead, Chipotle's college plan. The restaurant chain launching a new plan to help out employees.
Hi, I have no battery left. I'm not okay. The bus driver locked me underneath the bus.
All right, how did this happen? We're hearing the call for help made by a woman. She called because she was trapped in the luggage compartment of a Peter Pan bus, and there's major developments now in the criminal case against the bus driver.
If you're getting on the trains right now, you still have southbound 2 trains running express from 241st Street to Gun Hill Road, and northbound 2 trains bypass 225th Street. That's all because of that police investigation out there. There were some delays southbound on the Hudson Line for Metro North commuters. They cleared. If you're getting on the roads, though, there are delays southbound on 684 because of an accident just after exit 7, which is a northbound exit, but it's right next to it there. So leave yourself some extra time. We'll take a live look outside at the GW Bridge. Still some minor delays, maybe 5 minutes inbound there. About 10 inbound at the Lincoln Tunnel, 15 at the Holland Tunnel. I will have the latest on your Wednesday morning commute right after the break.
The CNBC Money Report is brought to you by your Tri-State BMW Center.
You can turn left. You can turn right. Or if you're behind the wheel of the BMW X5, you can decide not to turn at all. Unless you absolutely have to. The BMW X5. Confidence doesn't take detours. Hurry in to lease a 2019 BMW X5 xDrive 40i for $699 a month.
The Addams Family is the #1 family movie in America. It's laugh out loud funny and a perfect Halloween treat.
Brother! I'm not late, am I?
The Addams Family, rated PG.
Middlesex County has a tradition of fostering arts and culture. We invest in artistic expression, helping to build beautiful spaces all can enjoy. We value shared experiences and the traditions they create. We know the arts play a role in the future and nurture those who will create them. We believe in preserving historic treasures for generations to come. Middlesex County, where arts and culture become reality.
Don't miss Jets versus Patriots on Monday Night Football. Get your tickets at nyjets.com/tickets.
The rule of 3 states, things that come in threes are inherently more appealing. We couldn't agree more. Three SUVs, 1 GMC. Current eligible non-GM lessees get this low-mileage lease on this all-wheel drive Acadia SLE1 for around $229 per month. Or get this low-mileage lease on this all-wheel drive Terrain for around $189 per month.
Help! What is that? The visual presentation indicates flesh-eating bacteria.
If the
this is an outbreak. We're going to be playing catch up.
There's someone out there with weaponized